Lions, and it is a cold, windy, rain turning to snow day. 39 degrees, and the wind will be a factor at 17 miles an hour from the northeast. The posts at one end have already been blown down. Hello, everybody. I'm Tim Ryan with Johnny Morris here at Soldier Field. I know some of you are expecting to see the Rams and Giants from your local TV listings, but the place to be this afternoon in the National Football League is here at Soldier Field, where the unbeaten Bears go for number 10. Of course, everybody wants to see William the Refrigerator Perry, and today the Lions, still in the wild card hunt at 5-4. They've been the Giant killers all season long. Will try to stop the Bears streak. And the Bears, Johnny, will be going at quarterback without their number one man, Jim McMahon.
That's right. Jim McMahon sustained a shoulder injury against Green Bay last week. Will not start, so Steve Fuller is going to get the starting call. He's played a couple of times this year, but so far has not done all that well, and Mike Ditka would like to see how Steve Fuller does in case McMahon gets hurt. He's been injury-prone throughout the season. As for the Detroit Lions, as you said, they're still in the wild card hunt. But any team that's beaten Dallas, San Francisco, and Miami in one season has got to be a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde team. Darryl Rogers has done some magic with them, and we'll see how the Lions do. They're 5-4. They need a victory to stay in that wild card hunt. I think we're going to have a good football game. It is cold.
All right, Johnny, and the Lions, Darryl Rogers, made an interesting decision here, and perhaps a sensible one. The Lions won the toss, elected to take the wind, and they will kick off. The Bears will receive. And the wind, as we commented, has already blown down the goalposts at the south end of the field. They have been replaced, obviously. Each stadium required to keep extra goalposts. It took about 30 minutes. It was quite a sight as the tarp was being rolled off. It just literally blew out of the hands of about 10 maintenance men, billowed up, landed on the uprights, and snapped them just like matchsticks. So they've got a new goalpost in the south end, and the Lions will kick it off. It is Eddie Murray, and they had to hold the ball for him because the wind has been blowing it off the tee, as you could see. The deep men for the Bears are Dennis Gentry and Thomas Sanders, the rookie running back, number 20. And the wind is blowing in the television booth and all around Soldier Field from Lake Michigan. The rain that has been kind of sprinkling all morning here in Chicago has been turning to snow just in the last few minutes. So we expect the temperatures to drop into the 30s if they're not already there.
And as you can see, it's much stronger than 17 miles per hour. I would say it's up to 25 miles an hour, so that's going to have a definite effect on this football game, especially determining which direction you're going to go. This figured to be a running ball game. The Chicago Bears had some wide receivers banged up, and Walter Payton's been coming on very strong, so the Bears figured to run against Detroit. The Lions ran an awful lot against Minnesota, probably too much last week, so this could be one of the fastest games of the year. I'm making a little prediction there. You never know what's going to happen in a football game, but it might be a fast one. And look at the ball. Eddie Murray says, I want things just right.
Well, it's taking them a while to get this kick off, and that's only due to the wind. They tried the tee, they tried a holder, and now there's an additional delay down here with the markers down at the 20-yard line. Evidently, one of those chains came apart. So we thought we might have a delay in the start of the game when those goalposts went down at about 10:30, 11 o'clock this morning, but they were replaced rather readily. And now the problem is just getting the chains and the ball ready to kick. The Lions tied with Minnesota at 5-4 in the Central Division of the NFC East, still in the wild card hunt. The Chicago Bears going for the Bo Derek today, looking for the perfect 10. Their best start since 1942, but they'll have to do it without quarterback Jim McMahon, who has a bruised body more than anything else. So wear and tear over the first 9 games of the season, but the shoulder being the primary problem, the reason why he is out of the lineup today.
One of the reasons that the Lions are 5-4 and have had some good games is because of the special teams, and Darryl Rogers started the special teams, announced them in the starting lineup for the first time this season.
All right, we're ready to play football at Soldier Field under gray skies and cold temperatures, and Murray blasts that through the end zone, and Chicago will start from their 20-yard line. The field is wet in spots. There was a tarp. We've referred to that, as it played a role in knocking over the uprights. Steve Fuller will be the quarterback, with Payton and Suhey the running backs. Willie Galt playing with sore ribs. Ken Marjoram replacing Dennis McKinnon as the starter. McKinnon with a sore knee. Covert, Bortz, Hilgenberg, Tom Thayer, Keith Van Horn, and Tim Reitman starting for Emory Moorhead at tight end, with Moorhead nursing an injury as well. The Bears effectively resting 2 or 3 players who can play and may indeed turn up in the game, but are banged up enough at this stage of the season. They're going with some other starters. Fuller brings them out. Matt Suhey Suhey with a good hole on first down, picks up nearly 10 yards. Jimmy Williams, the linebacker, William Graham, the safety, and the Lions, who are last against the rush, have a problem on first down. Williams, English, and Gay are the front three in the new 3-4 defense this year. Williams, August Curley, Angelo King moving inside, replacing Kurt Allerman, who's injured. Vernon Maxwell gets his first start outside. The secondary has been fairly solid. Watkins and McNorton on the corners, Demetrius Johnson and William Graham the safeties. Suhey again. Another first down.
And we see a trend developing right here. First 2 carries for Matt Suhey. Obviously, the Lions have geared up to stop Walter Payton, who gained 192 yards last week, and the first 2 carries go to Matt Suhey. So he may have a pretty big day today, but eventually Walter Payton's going to get that football also.
The linebackers King and Williams on the tackle again. The rush has been a problem for the Lions all season long, but their defensive philosophy with the personnel they have and the new 3-4 under defensive coordinator Wayne Fonts is basically a bend don't break offense. They think they can stop you down inside their 20. It is first down at the 41-yard line. This is Payton's first carry, and he gets about 7. 3 consecutive plays between the tackles. Vernon Maxwell, the linebacker from the outside right, number 98, making the tackle on the play. Maxwell picked up on waivers from San Diego after being out of action for a couple of months. On the sidelines, cut by the Chargers. He had been sent over there from the Indianapolis Colts, where just 2 short years ago he was Defensive Rookie of the Year in this conference. But Maxwell getting a reprieve here from his old coach at Arizona State, Darrell Rogers. Second in a long 5. Payton. Not too much. A couple for Walter Payton as Demetrius Johnson came up to help out. The linebacker Vernon Maxwell, number 98. It'll be third, pardon me, and about 3 yards remaining.
It'll be interesting to see if we see Ken Fantetti before this game is over. He's been activated, and he's always been one of Walter Payton's pursuers. He gets inspired when he plays against Walter Payton. Says, I can't wait to get in this football game.
Third down. Suhey sets up on the wing right. Oftentimes he'll be the lead blocker for Walter Payton, but he comes in motion, and Payton runs behind him to the left. Not much good pursuit that time by the Lions. Linebacker August Curley, number 50, and the cornerback Bruce McNorton, number 29, made a fine defensive play, and they stopped the Chicago Bears.
And it was August Curley who came through. He found a little hole to get through there, came in from the inside, made the stop, and the Detroit Lions have stiffened and stopped the Chicago Bears on the first drive. Now the Bears will be punting against the wind.
Maury Buford into punt. Currently second in the conference with an average of 44.4. And Pete Manley, a dangerous return man. He's second in the conference in that category. Has already returned 1 for a touchdown earlier this season. And should be looking at a wind-affected punt. And it hangs up at about the 25-yard line, comes down at the 19, and Manley. Burst of speed, gets over the Lions' 40-yard line to the 43. So the Lions have good field position. We have 11:08 remaining in the first quarter, no score. The Lions have their first offensive possession. Eric Hipple, the quarterback. Alvin Moore and James Jones, the running backs. Leonard Thompson and Mark Nichols, the wide receivers. Across the front, they have a number of banged-up players. They're really hurting at guard. The tackles are okay. Lomas Brown, Keith Dorney, he's got a broken toe. But Ray Snell getting his first start at left guard. Don Greco has been bothered with a concussion at right guard. Steve Mott with a broken finger at center. So the middle of the Lions' offensive line in a little bit of trouble. First down, play action. Hipple has a man wide open, Rubick. First down for Rob Rubick inside the 40-yard line of the Bears. Frazier and Duerson on the tackle.
Well, the Lions come out right away, throwing the ball as Eric Hipple, who hasn't had an interception in 3 games, is 1 for 1 as you look at the Bear defensive line. Hampton, McMichael, William Perry getting a start once again, and Richard Dent at the right end position. The linebackers, the same as usual, Otis Wilson, Mike Singletary, and Wilbur Marshall, who has come on strong. Reggie Phillips gets the start at left cornerback for the injured Mike Richardson. Frazier Durson and Fensick round out the defensive backfield.
Lions first down in Bears territory at the 39. A fumble and a good recovery by James Jones. Saw the problem with the pass from center from Mott to Hipple, and Jones, without any hesitation, dove on the loose ball.
Alert play by Jones. You know, the Lions, we were at practice on Thursday. They worked out in the Silverdome, and Darryl Rogers says, I want to kind of simulate this cold weather in Chicago, so he turned down the heat. It was about 45 degrees in the Silverdome, and
he didn't simulate it well enough, though.
It's a little colder than that here today.
Plus, there's no wind in the Silverdome. And it's 2nd and 12. We thought we were cool there in Detroit on Thursday. Boy, it is plenty cold here. This give us to James Jones. And a good defensive play by Wilson. Couldn't hold on, but slowed him down. Look at Jones drag tacklers all the way to the 35-yard line. It was Dent, not Wilson. Richard Dent had Jones, slowed him up, but the powerful fullback, 230 pounds, turned it into a gain of about 3. So a 5-yard pickup for James Jones.
Boy, that was a great piece of running. It was a tough 5 yards. He literally took 5 Chicago Bears an extra 3 or 4 yards. And of course, Jones is coming on strong. He's had a couple of 100-yard games and would like to have another one. He said the Bear defense is tough. He said, but I'm going to keep pile driving in there.
Well, and he's aware that he could have a 1,000-yard season on a team that featured Billy Sims and got Wilbert Montgomery to replace him. But James Jones, the fullback's the main man. And we have a timeout, a delay of game penalty. No, it's a Detroit timeout.
They avoided the delay of game penalty.
Right, exactly. With 9:06 to go in the first quarter, we still have a scoreless football game. Rookie coach Darryl Rogers of the Detroit Lions in the blue jacket. They're talking to his offensive coordinator Bob Baker and getting his first taste in the NFL of a day in the Windy City at Soldier Field. 3rd down, a long 6 for Detroit at the Bears 35. Loose ball again recovered by Chicago. Mike Singletary, number 50.
With this cold day, they're just having trouble with the snap there as Hipple was pulling out. Looks like he might have dropped the ball off Mott's rump, but anyway, he couldn't hang on to the ball, and Mike Singletary, number 50, makes the recovery. Tough blow for the Detroit Lions because with the wind behind them, they still, even if they had not made the 3rd down situation, they would have had a shot at a field goal because of the strong wind. Now the Bears going against the wind. Steve Fuller at quarterback.
Second offensive possession for the Bears in this first period with 9:02 to play. From the 37-yard line off Singletary's fumble recovery, and Suhey just got away, and he has a big hole for a first down out near midfield. William Graham, the free safety, number 33 on the tackle.
A little misdirection as they fake to Payton, and watch the offensive linemen. You're going to see Keith Van Horn and Tom Thayer come from the right side of the line to the left side of the line and throw the key blocks to turn Suhey up the middle as he cuts behind the blocks with the action to Payton the other way. So Matt Suhey getting some big yardage as the Lions are concerned about Walter Payton.
33 yards on 3 carries for Suhey. First down at the Bears' 49-yard line. Payton with a big hole. He breaks loose. First down, Chicago at the Lions' 33, an 18-yard gain.
Big chunks against the Lion defense, which has been 28th against the league here, as you can just see some straight ahead blocking now. Demetrius Johnson, 21, comes up. Payton is an attacker on offense. Did you see him put his shoulder into Johnson and busted the tackle and went downfield before he was knocked down? Walter Payton.
Roosevelt Barnes in defensively for Vernon Maxwell at linebacker. First down as the Bears rip up some more yardage now in Lions territory for the first time. Suhey stacked up by English, number 78, the nose man. pickup of 2, maybe 3 on the play. Let's see where they spot it.
Well, Doug English is a nice guy. He's a tough football player, but he helped Matt Suhey up. And, of course, he's moved in on the nose now with the 3-4 defense. And he was telling us it's okay, but you can tell he doesn't really like it all that much. He'd rather play that 4-man front.
Yes, it was quite apparent that he certainly from the pass rush point of view, that he thinks he can be more effective in the 4-man line. But he's a great team player and a Pro Bowler. He'll certainly do the job on the nose, but the rush has been a problem for the Lions, obviously. Payton again out the left side, hauled down from behind after a gain of 2, maybe 3 by William Gay, the right defensive end, number 79.
Good play by Gay. Good play. Noted more for his pass rush. That time he played off the block. Jimbo Covert got in there and got his hands on the ball carrier, and it was a pretty good ball carrier he brought down.
3rd down, and it'll be a long 5 for the Bears. They're at the Lions' 28-yard line. Mike Ditka with a nice warm jacket on the sidelines today.
But you can see that tie underneath. He's got his tie and his sweater because he dresses the same way for every game, no matter how cold it gets. He's got to have the same outfit on.
3rd down Bears, shotgun first time. Fuller, hand off to Willie Galt. Galt running well, gets to the 16-yard line. Little dipsy-doodle by the Star, running out of the backfield in that shotgun formation. 11-yard gain.
And that's what should have alerted the Lions when Willie Galt, 83, stayed in the backfield. He gets the inside handoff from Steve Fuller and then goes up the field. And look at that hole. You could drive a Mack truck through that hole as Galt dances it around and gets the first down as the Bears are down to the 16-yard line. Big chunks of yardage. Willie Galt playing with sore ribs.
Now Galt set out wide to the right. Kenny Marjoram to the left. Bears from the I. Suhey to the 5-yard line. The safeties again on the tackle. They're the leading tacklers on the Lions. You can see why by this drive.
Watch Jay Hilgenberg, 63 on 78, Doug English. He takes him and turns him, gets some help from Thayer, and just seals Doug English, 78, right out of the play, and then pounces on him as Matt Suhey goes right through the middle. Big yardage for Matt Suhey, who is headed for a 100-yard day, and he hasn't had too many of those when you're in the same backfield with Walter Payton. And the refrigerator, William Perry, has come on, number 72. What will the Bears do with him this time?
He blocks, and Payton is stopped at the 2. Maxwell on the tackle.
Well, I think Perry missed his block. Bruce McNorton, number 29, comes across the line of scrimmage, and he dodges. Watch him dodge a refrigerator. He says, I'm getting out of his way. And the refrigerator still goes through and hits Demetrius Johnson. But there was a pursuit from the inside as they stopped the Bears at 2nd down.
2nd and goal from the 2-yard line. Calvin Thomas in the backfield with Suhey and Payton. Thomas sets up on the wing left. In motion. Payton behind those 2 fullback blockers. Excellent stop by the Lions. Very little, if any, gain on the play. McNorton was there. Jimmy Williams, the linebacker, and Vernon Maxwell, the linebacker.
And the fans are calling for the fridge. I wonder if they'll get the fridge. He's not on the field right now. Jimmy Williams is probably going to be the man if the refrigerator does get in there again. He's still on the sidelines.
3rd and goal. Bears. Just inside the 3-yard line.
Fuller's a good runner.
Fuller rolls away from Johnson. Hit at the 4-yard line and stopped. 4th down, Chicago. Williams, Jimmy Williams, and Demetrius Johnson. A flag on the play, however.
It's against Detroit.
Tough break for the Lions, who made 2 outstanding defensive plays, and Perry comes back on.
Holding, 54 defense, first down.
Roosevelt Barnes, defensive holding, 1st and goal. Chicago, a costly penalty, obviously. The ball at the 2-yard line.
The holding must have been on the receiver trying to get out into the end zone, because Fuller rolled out and was going to throw into that corner of the end zone, and there was nobody there. I didn't see the specific infraction, but it was a big one. It gives the Bears a first down.
6 down lineman. Perry sets up on the wing right. Payton, the lone setback. Thomas in motion with a block. Payton pulled down. What a great tackle. And it was Steve Bott, number 68, who plays on the goal line defense, the second-year man from Oregon.
He slipped through from behind and caught the play from behind. Watch number 68 as he comes in, and Payton was about to turn up the field, and he makes a nice tackle from behind. The Bears actually lost yardage there. In fact, 2 or 3 yards.
Perry took on the safety.
And what did the Bears do? What did number 70 do? Well, he got in there and threw a little bit. Really kind of missed his block, though, actually.
Well, that's when he'll tell fans, hey, I'm a defensive tackle. Gentry and Suhey in the lineup. Dennis Gentry straight ahead. He's stopped as the Lions, just stiffening here at the goal line, having surrendered a second first down with a penalty, have now stopped the Bears on consecutive plays. It is 3rd and goal.
And Walter Payton is not in there right now.
Gentry came in for Payton on the last play, and he is still on the field.
I don't know if Payton is hurt, but he is on the sidelines, and it's not a normal time to take him out of a football game. So we'll have to try and get a report on Walter Payton's situation. There he is right
There's
there.
Payton, and he does look to be in some pain. 3rd and goal. Fuller sneaking, diving, and no signal from the officials. The Bears say they've scored a touchdown. The Lions say no. The officials say nothing.
There was one signal. One official did...
Arms upraised from the signals. I didn't see that, Johnny.
Well,
our referee is Tom Dooley.
Obviously, they're still a little bit in a state of deciding what the situation is. Now, they're saying no. It's 4th down.
The Detroit Lions stuffing the Bears. Fuller got to about the 1-foot line, no further.
Now the Bears are in the process of going for the touchdown. They had Kevin Butler out in the field, and they brought him back. Well, let's take a look at it and see if he did cross the plane of that goal line. That was the big debate. As you can see, a pilot, Fuller made a great effort at it, trying to dive over, and you can see the ball on the ground as that nose. It's difficult to say. It's difficult to say from that vantage point. We couldn't make a decision on it. They were down there closer. We have to give them a
Looked
call.
like the ball came loose, and Tom Thayer dove on it in the end zone, and he was one who raised his hands. There's the dive. Down he goes. I thought he was short, frankly, but the ball came loose. You see Thayer, number 57, he kind of rolls into the end zone, gathers in the ball. He has it there, but the play had been whistled dead. So Fuller stopped short, play whistle dead. A timeout on the field in the meantime, and a 4th down play in which, as you pointed out, Butler went out for the field goal attempt and was called back, and that's what this huddle is about.
He actually may have been going out to anticipate he was going to kick the extra
point. He may well have been. You're right.
Okay, now the refrigerator's coming in. Walter Payton is back in the football game. Suhey is coming out.
There's Kevin Butler. He says, I'll be happy to wait here and kick an extra point instead of a field goal, but the Lions have other ideas. Don't forget that they had that penalty by Barnes that gave the Bears a second opportunity at a 1st down inside the 5. The 12th play coming up on this drive that started back on the Bears 37. They haven't thrown a pass to get here, but they haven't gotten into the end zone.
Usually during the season, in this situation where the distance is so short, the Bears have gone to the quarterback sneak with McMahon. How they do it with Fuller remains to be seen. There is Mike Ditka.
Perry on the wing right. Thomas on the wing left. Payton, the lone setback. Perry in motion. Fuller diving. Touchdown. the football, claiming they had recovered a fumble, and Darryl Rogers is on the field supporting his player's point of view, but the touchdown has been signaled.
This low angle should provide a good view of just exactly what happened. They did go with the quarterback sneak. Boy, I couldn't see anything, could you? Just a pile of people.
So Butler with the point after. And the Chicago Bears had to battle their way into the end zone. 7 plays inside the 5-yard line. 63 yards in 12 plays. And a flag down.
12 men on the defense. Point is awarded.
12 men on the field
kickoff
for the Lions, and so the point after will count, and the penalty will be taken on the kickoff. 40 seconds remaining in the first period. The Bears 7-0. Tim Ryan with Johnny Morris at Soldier Field, where the Bears used up 12 minutes and 14 seconds. Finally got on the scoreboard after 7 tries from inside the 5-yard line against a stubborn Detroit defense. Steve Fuller diving from a yard out. The Lions came up with the loose ball at the end of the play, but it was ruled a touchdown. A squib kick goes out of bounds at the Lions' 23-yard line. The flags come down. Now let's go back and look at that touchdown by Fuller, Johnny.
Now this view shows us exactly what happened. Steve Fuller did drop the ball after he received it here. Now you'll see it drop right. He loses control, it goes down to his knees, and then after that down to the turf. Now the Lions came up with the ball at least afterwards, so it is a debatable play because he did not cross the goal line, it appears, with possession of the ball.
So the Bears backed up to their 35, having kicked the ball out of bounds. They had originally kicked from the 40 because of the infraction against the Lions. And Butler into the wind. The ball comes down at the 16-yard line. And that is Alvin Moore getting over the 30 to about the 33. Morrissey and William Perry in on the tackle for Chicago. So the Bears, with 12 consecutive rushes, not one pass, used up 8:22 on the clock, went 63 yards, finally scored after 7 tries from inside the 5-yard line. And when they did score, it was somewhat disputed.
Look at the time of possession, 12 minutes to 2. The Lions have hardly had the ball. When they did have it, they were moving it.
And we're in the final minute of this first period. Play action, Hipple, a busted play, is sacked. Richard Dent, Steve McMichael, and Perry all there. Some kind of a miscue, Johnny.
It certainly was, and Otis Wilson is actually the first one there, 55, as they were doing that fake and they back, and he was going to throw the ball. So it's just that it was a slow developing play, and Hipple had no time to get up there and set up as the Bears put the all-out blitz on. And William Perry was in on the tackle, number 72, a two-way player.
22 seconds left in this first period. With this timeout, the Bears 7, Detroit nothing. Free-spirited Jim McMahon enjoying the Bears' early lead and a day of rest as Steve Fuller takes over for the Bears' regular starting quarterback, who has a bad shoulder and basically a bruised body. It is second and about 17. James Jones is dropped by Dave Dewerson after a pickup of maybe 3 yards near the 30-yard line of the Lions. They'll spot it at the 28. Dave Dewerson, 10 seconds remaining in the quarter, and Dewerson has quietly done a fine job of reading Todd Bell, the Bears holdout.
Look at this. The Lions are bringing a whole new team on. You don't suppose they're going to punt on 3rd down, do you?
Well, I think they are, because Mike Black is dropping back to punt.
This is the Lions right now look like they're going to punt on 3rd down. Now, I mean, could they be so afraid of the Bears' pass rush on 3rd down? I can't understand this.
Well, Minnesota ahead of Green Bay 7-3 in the first period. As we sort out these circumstances, the Rams leading the Giants 7-0. And Buffalo ahead of Houston 3-0.
I got to believe, as you look at Philadelphia leading Atlanta 7-0, I guess they're taking advantage of the quarter situation. Are we into the second quarter?
No,
that's it. That's got to be it. They're going to punt with the wind.
They want to punt with the wind, must be the answer.
Yes.
And for later today on CBS Sports, the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Redskins in a key NFC East game. The Cowboys at 6-3, tied with the Giants, and Washington at 5-4, tied with, or rather ahead of Philadelphia at 4-5. The Eagles tied with St. Louis at 4-5. So a real battle for playoff positions in the Eastern Division, and an old traditional rivalry that should be a tongue war out there today. Dallas, Washington later today here on CBS Sports, and all of you will be seeing that except those of you in the Chicago area.
I guess Darryl Rogers figured that 3rd and 15 and he wasn't going to take the shot on that. As you can see, the heaters on the sidelines trying to keep their hands warm. I don't know why. Most of them are wearing gloves anyway. They wear gloves in these days in the NFL, right?
You didn't have gloves back in '63, I know, Johnny. All right. Well, the Lions want to kick that ball with the wind, which is a considerable factor here today. We have seen it on the kickoffs by the Bears' Butler. On 3rd down, they will punt. And as Darryl Rogers, in describing the way they've been playing this season, is to utilize the long field for the opposition, the short field for themselves. Black had to field a high snap. It was nearly blocked, and a flag is down. Dewerson at the 8-yard line. The Bears are probably going to be called for roughing or running into the kicker.
Otis Wilson was back there, and he ran into Black after he punted the ball. Now, Otis Wilson, 55, may have been confused by the fact that he had to jump up and get the ball and thought that maybe the protection for the punter was off. But it's not off unless the ball hits the ground.
Tom Dooley.
Personal foul, running into the kicker. Number 55 on the receiving team, 1st down.
Well, the Lions were playing defensively and wound up with a big break here. They've got a 1st down.
There's the hit by Otis Wilson after Black got rid of the ball, and he did hit him. There's no question about the situation. Correct call. The Lions maintain possession.
They'll have a 1st down at their 33-yard line. Larry Lee is snapping the punts for the Lions. The regular snapper David Jones went on to injured reserve with a neck injury this week. So Larry Lee nearly threw that one away, but it turns into a big break for the Lions. This is Alvin Moore. Moore gets about 1.5 yards to the 35-yard line as time expires in the 1st quarter at Soldier Field, with the Chicago Bears leading 7.